In February of this year, the FDA granted Ocrelizumab breakthrough designation for primary progressive MS. Breakthrough designation is a status that's granted to help expedite the development and review of new potential therapies for diseases that are serious or life-threatening. And it's an acknowledgement of the high unmet medical need in primary progressive MS. It's not an approval, but it indicates that the FDA will partner with Roche and Genentech in the review process of the data that will be submitted to support approval for primary progressive MS. The discussions with health authorities are ongoing. We intend to submit the application, the formal application, in the first half of 2016. The Roche and Genentech teams are committed to assembling the data package for submission as fast as possible because we recognize the unmet medical need in primary progressive MS, as well as the unmet medical need in relapsing MS. We conducted a study called the Oratorio study, which is a rigorously designed placebo-controlled study of Ocrelizumab administered as a 600 milligram dose every 24 weeks compared to placebo. And in this study, the primary endpoint was the time to confirmed disability progression that is sustained for 12 weeks. And this was a successful result with Ocrelizumab reducing disability progression by 24% with at a level of significance. In addition, there were secondary endpoints with a more robust definition of disability progression, 24-week confirmed disability progression that was also significant. Other endpoints that support the primary result were the reduction, a 29% reduction in the change in time to walk, the time it takes to walk 25 feet. Ambulation is very important in MS and particularly in progressive MS. The change in T2 lesion volume, which is an MRI measure of demyelinating lesions that accumulate on placebo. There was a reduction with Ocrelizumab. And very importantly for progressive MS, a reduction in the brain volume loss or brain atrophy from week 24 to week 120, and there was a 17.5% reduction in the rate of brain volume loss. So all of these endpoints together support the application for primary progressive MS. I'll also add from a safety standpoint that the overall proportion of patients with any adverse event was similar between placebo and Ocrelizumab, and the overall proportion of patients with any serious adverse event was similar between Ocrelizumab and placebo. So this is the first positive phase 3 trial in primary progressive MS, where attempts have been made, but other attempts have failed. I think it'll be important to review all of the data, including the primary and secondary endpoints, as well as the overall safety profile in making a determination of the benefit and risk. Here at the ACTRIMS conference, a late-breaking abstract was presented by Dr. Jerry Walensky, looking across subgroups of patients with active inflammation at baseline on MRI versus patients who did not have evidence of active inflammation on their baseline MRI. And what these subgroup results indicate is that there is a degree of efficacy across the population. And these are the types of results that will be important for physicians to review and consider. Well, I think the results of the phase 3 trial program, which includes 2 active comparator studies against an interferon in relapsing MS, and the Oratorio study, the placebo-controlled phase 3 in primary progressive MS, the totality of these data underscore the importance of the B cell in the pathogenesis of MS. And this is somewhat new in the field of MS, where for a long time it was thought that T cells were the main driver of disease. And so I think what is unique about Ocrelizumab is it's the first B cell targeted therapy that has the potential to be a new therapy for MS, both in relapsing MS and primary progressive MS. And it underscores the importance of continuing to understand the science of what's driving the disease. In addition to the pioneering science of understanding the role of B cells in MS and targeting them for therapeutic benefit, the fact that we have the first positive trial in primary progressive MS will be very important, partly because of the unmet need, or largely because of the unmet medical need that exists where there are no approved therapies for PPMS. But beyond that, from a scientific standpoint, it'll give us new clues into the disease pathogenesis itself. And the hope would be that, as we continue to understand the data and to do more studies in progressive MS, that we'll find new ways to target the disease. So this, in a way, ushers in a new era of research in progressive MS.